Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Missy. Thanks for joining me again for another layout process video. This one is for the Hip Kit Club, and this is the fourth layout that I have made using the March 2015 kits. So for this one, I picked my pictures out first, and I really love this mint green cardstock. So I wanted to start with that and use that as my base. And I really didn't know what I was going to do. I just started playing around. So I got that cracked pistachio paint out, put it on some plastic packaging, added some water, and just did some smushing around of the paint there. And I didn't really like it at first, but I knew I was going to add to it and cover some of it up and add some more things on top of it. So it was kind of just an experiment. It definitely has a different feel to it than gelatos or watercolor because it is thicker. So it does leave a deeper pigment on the paper, but it winds up being fine. So I decided to go with some of the pattern papers that had mint green and black and white on them. And I'm going to have some pink come into play as it goes along because there's pink in the picture. And that little cup on her shirt has some of that mint green color in it. So I thought that was a pretty mix of colors. So I had some ideas going on in my head at this point of using paper strips. So I cut a bunch of them out and used my tape runner to, or not my tape runner, what is that thing called? My ATG gun, to stick them down. And I wind up stitching over them later, but I just wanted to get them adhered down. And at first I thought, oh, this is not turning out how I imagined it in my brain, but it winds up looking better than I anticipated. So my next phase was to add some gesso, white gesso, and my bottle's getting close to being empty, so I basically just stick my finger in the top there and get some on my hand and just smush it around because I was going to add some more gelatos on top of the strips. So I wanted to fade out some of the pattern and the color, and here's where I get a little more messy. So I take the packaging again and add a couple of shades of pink gelatos, add some water, smush it around, and start adding some pink. This is such an easy way to add paint or gelatos, any type of mixed media, products that you have. If you're afraid to use a paintbrush, I know a lot of people say they're hesitant to get messy with paint or mist or anything like that, and I've found that this is a really fun way to use it, and it's kind of controlled, but it still gives you that messy, artsy look, and you don't even need a brush. The gelatos are another easy way. They go on just like lipstick. It feels like you're holding a tube of lip smackers, because I use that stuff all the time, and so it's exactly what it reminds me of. And they just go on like crayons. They're so nice. I decided to add some of the Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. That did not come in the kits, but I knew that I was going to add lots of gold elements here, so I wanted a little pop of gold shine on there, so I just sprayed it down. And there's that camera again. I have sworn I have tried to use that camera on every layout I've made this month, and you see that it has not made it on there yet. I don't know why. I love that camera. I've grown very attached to that camera, but for whatever reason, every layout that I've made, it just does not work with the design, and it does not make it to this layout, but I try several times. I keep it there beside me like it's my pet. Okay, I did add some stitching. That's what I was pointing to there. I did some zigzagging and some straight stitching, and it's all gold, so it's nice little touches of shiny gold there. Adding some, well, they're technically not pop dots, but they're the packaging that the pop dots were popped out of, and they still are the same thing, so I cut that up and use it until it's gone. I stick these onto some vellum, and I played with this for a long time. I get mad here and just turn off the camera and because I was about to have a meltdown, a hissy fit over this because I couldn't get it off and it was not folding right. I couldn't get the shape of the layer the way I wanted it to look under the pictures. Oh, can you see I'm getting mad? I'm about to throw a tantrum. Oh, I'll just turn off the camera. Okay, there, I'm back. You didn't see the tantrum, but I was about to have throwdown there. Glad you didn't see that. And glad you couldn't hear me, because I'm sure I said some words that weren't nice, being upset with the vellum and the pop dots there. But I got it worked out, so all ends well. Adding some black color shine there to play on the black colors from the strips. And so here's where I start going through all the embellishments. And I know I said this in my last video that there are so many odds and ends in this kit that I feel like you could just use so many of them and you have so many left over. So that's the Webster's Pages sticker sheet, and I'm taking those Alison Kreft teal or mint, whatever color you want to call that, and I added a little message to that little strip, and it's got gold glitter around the edges. Even though it's like picture of gold glitter, it's still gold and it looks really cool. So I put on there "Love My Beautiful Girl," and I'm going to add that at some point, just not yet. Gluing down my pictures there. And see, you would never know that I had a fight with a vellum. It all looks peaceful and calm now, but it's just scrapbooking. But you would think it's the end of the world when something doesn't work right. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm taking some of the frames from the crepe paper sheet, and there's some serious shiny gold going on there. So I have to wind up cutting them because I'd already pop dotted my pictures and I could not fit the whole frame under there, and I was not going to unglue it or fight with it again, so I just cut the frames to make them fit. And I have a bunch of the doodads from the kit strung out there that I think I may or may not use. I wasn't sure, so I just kind of pulled things that I thought I might use so I can scatter them around the page. I do wind up using that cute cloud from the Pink Fresh Studio collection, and some of the exclusive die cuts, and that little flare button. Most things are pink or gold. Oh, there's the camera. Oh, the poor camera. I honestly love that camera, and I'm going to use it. I know I keep saying that, but why is it so? I don't know if it's because of the size of it, and then I get my design going and I don't have anywhere to put it, but I am bound and determined to use that camera. Since it was the first thing that I saw when I opened up all these kits, that was the first thing that I said, ooh, I'm going to use that camera. And you see where it is, still sitting there, like I abandoned it. Let's see. Oh yeah, I love these big pink love stickers. I do use those finally. I've been eyeballing them for while, and they go perfectly with this. The color matches really nicely. The only complaint, and I wouldn't even call it a complaint, is I like to layer them. Like I'm putting the O on top of the L and the V, and the E is a little bit on top, so they're not exactly flat on the paper, so they don't stick very well. So I do wind up having to go back and glue them down. Maybe if I would not have used gelatos or anything like that, they probably would stick a little better. But when I use that gritty gesso, when I use something like that winds up being kind of gritty, the thickers don't stick very well, or the chipboard, it doesn't stick very well. So I always wind up going back and gluing it down, or stitching through it sometimes. But I didn't stitch through these because they're layered. I add some color to that little wood veneer heart circle there, because I wanted another pop of that mint down there at the bottom. And I just tuck that underneath that circle. And I did pick at some of the strips to make them a little more dimensional. Since I sewed them down, I knew they weren't coming up, so I picked at the camera again. I'm telling it how much I love it, but it's just, it's not going to get used. I'm just playing around with some of the wood veneers. You know, this is the phase of the layout where you're pretty much finishing up, but you just want to keep adding things, and then you see something that you missed, and you're like, oh, I want to add this here. Oh, I forgot about that. And that's the case with these kits, I think, because there's so much in them. The Pink Fresh Studio rub-ons, they're gold, of course, which is awesome. So I added a couple just right onto the cardstock. And they go on so smoothly. I hope they come out with some more in future collections, because the way they created them was really good. Some rub-ons are much better than others, but these have been really, really nice. So I glued the love chipboard down again, or not again, to make them stick. And then I'm going back to another rub-on. I'm so random sometimes when I'm creating a page. I mean, I'll do one thing and then completely do something else, and it's just, I look at it and think, what needs to go here, what needs to go there, and sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. So I'm sifting through all of the embellishments again. I went searching for some of those cork hearts. That's what I was doing. So I add at least one. I tried to make another one fit, but I didn't want to leave it just stuck out there by itself. I don't think I wound up using that. And these are some pictures of my little Reese cup from a couple years ago. She was just looking cute one morning, so I coerced her into smiling so I could get a couple of cute pictures of her. And those are my favorite kind of pictures of my girls, is just random, everyday action shots. It's very rare that I get a posed shot. I have to work really hard to get posed pictures, and over the years I've just learned that action shots are the way to go. And these aren't really action shots, but she was kind of in a hurry to get past me to get to the living room, and I said, nope, you're having a cute hair day this morning, and that shirt looks so cute on you. Stop, stop, stop. Let me take your picture. So she did stop for just a brief moment, and then she was on her way. Added a couple of those little diamonds or squares from the chipboard sheet, and that's My Mind's Eye gold sticker. So my title's pretty easy, Love You. The embellishments did all the work for me. I didn't even have to come up with anything original. This is where I had a duh, I'm a blonde moment. And I just say that because I'm a blonde and I have blonde moments all the time. But I'm trying to spell out Reese's name with these stickers. And clearly I forgot how to spell it because I have two E's together. And then I'm thinking, oh yeah, duh, there's an S there. Sometimes I amaze myself. Good grief. Slapping myself in the forehead, going, duh, don't you know how to spell your own child's name? It's a good thing I caught it. Because if I would have left it and you would have seen that in this video, I would have been very ashamed. You could have just laughed at me. It's okay. Adding my date stamp. And I think that's going to wrap it up. A little bit of journaling, not a whole lot. There's not a lot of room, and I don't really have a lot to say except how much I love her, so that's what I add. And the final pictures are coming up, and that is it. I really love the colors together. I think the pink with the teal and the gold really, really looked great, and I liked the pops of black. Definitely looked better than I thought it was going to in the beginning. So thank you guys for stopping by again, to all my subscribers, and I hope to see you next time. I should have another video up in a couple days. Thanks!